Hello, what's up, beautiful people? My name is Ibrail. I'm the creator of Anzaro Quantum Healing, and I welcome you to this third tree update. This tree update has been anticipated for quite some time for me because this update is huge. And I'm gonna cover a lot of different things in this update and not just planting trees, as I believe that this tree update will set the foundation for Anzaro Quantum Healing to plant millions of trees in the future. And to begin with, I just want to take on from where we left at the second tree update. Now, in the second tree update, we had planted a total of 7,041 trees. And at the time of the second tree update, we only had one app available that was contributing to the tree planting, which is My Sleep Affirmation. And at that time, it had planted 884 trees. And now, 1 year later, we have so many new sources of tree planting content in Anzaro Quantum Healing. I have released the Anzaro Quantum Healing app, which is an app that is teaching users how to tap into a higher energy and into a planetary energetic network and use that for their own healing and transformation. It's an app that I have been guided to create, which started this whole journey, and it has a lot of work to be done. It was released in January this year, and I also released a pelvic Kegel trainer for men that is called Full Power Kegels, which was actually just released a month ago in August. And Anzaro Quantum Healing have already planted 401 trees, and Full Power Kegels has already planted 121 trees. And to update, My Sleep Affirmations is now up to 1,730 trees planted at the time of recording this video. And that brings the total amount of trees planted through our apps to 2,252 trees, which is amazing. You know, it's almost like a triple of what was available last year through this app, but we only had one app available and now we have three. But we are not done yet. We have more sources of where we can plant these trees. I also created 2 new online programs in healing and transformation, and for each student or participant in this course or program, a tree will be planted. The first program I created, which I released in I think March this year in 2023, is called Sexual Energy Transmutation, and it's a course that teaches the students how to manifest using sexual energy alchemy, how you can use your sexual energy to alchemize and transform it into your health and wealth. And we have already 156 students there, so that's 156 trees planted through that course. And I just created my second course for men on how to become multi-orgasmic. This course teaches men how to reach orgasms without ejaculating, and through this way you can experience multiple orgasms without ejaculating, entering super blissful states of existence that it's really hard to imagine without really experiencing it, you know? This course hasn't finished the production yet. It is still in the editing process. I have recorded all content. It's gonna have 4 to 5 hours of premium content to teach my brothers how they can utilize or master their sexual energy, reach this incredible pleasure, like really open new doors of pleasure in life, and it will also help contribute to planting of trees. And as I mentioned, this course is not released yet. It will be in 1-2 weeks, and I have already sold 5 pre-sales for this. So this course has contributed to 5 trees in this new update, but I'm sure these 2 courses will have a lot more trees contributed, as well as the apps. But I'm not done yet. There is even more. For the past 6 months, I have been hosting a lot of ecstatic dance events together with Ecstatic Flow Denmark, where we have been doing cacao ceremonies, ecstatic dance, and sound journeys. And I decided to kind of branch out and do something with my company Anzaro Quantum Healing, where I host only ecstatic dance events that are called Dance and Plant Trees. And these are events where people come, we dance, we release tension, we grow, we heal, and for each participant that joins in these events, a tree will be planted. And I had my first event a few weeks ago in a place called the Dome in Aarhus, Denmark. 150 people showed up during this event. So this first event, which will be many more in the future, different places around the world will plant a lot of trees as well. So we're gonna add 150 trees from our events called Ecstatic Dance and Plant Trees. And you think, what? Okay, can there be even more? And yes, there is even more. I am so dedicated to plant millions and millions of trees, transforming lands all around the world, and we are going to do this together. So this is why I will include this final source of tree planting through Anzaro Quantum Healing, which will come through YouTube. This means that for every single subscriber in our channel, we will plant a tree. And this is starting now. We have right now 77 subscribers at the moment of capturing this video. So please subscribe to our channel and we will actually plant a tree with this subscription, because this is what the whole company is about healing, not just people, but on such a bigger level, on a planetary level, you know, cleansing healing the land, healing the air, healing the waters through the trees, creating new homes for so many animals and insects and so on. And this is why it's Anzaro Quantum Healing. It is healing on so many levels. This is a huge update because I really believe these changes, these 7 sources of tree plantings, will set the foundations for Anzaro Quantum Healing to plant thousands, if not millions, maybe billions of trees in the future. Because the total amount of all these tree plantings is 2,640 trees, and this number is still not above the amount of tree that we covered in the second video. And how this whole thing works is that I always want to make sure there is more trees planted than the actual amount that has reached through these courses, events, apps, like all these different counters, and this acts as a buffer. So whenever we show that this amount of trees planted, they are either been planted in a reforestation project that I will talk about very shortly, or have been donated to a reforestation sites in Africa that we are supporting through our partner organization, Eden Projects. And I wouldn't need to plant more trees because there is still some space to reach this amount, but it wouldn't be a proper tree update unless I planted some trees. And as I really mentioned, this is what I'm all about, planting trees. So I don't care if we have not reached this number yet or not. I will still going to plant trees, just like in the second tree update. We were far away from reaching that number that was covered in the first tree update. But this tree update, we don't plant as many trees because I have been so busy on setting the foundation to create this base to reach our goal of planting millions of trees. But still, we have planted 100 trees, and this time it has only been planted in a reforestation site in Turkey over 2 rounds. We haven't planted more trees with the partner organization Eden Projects, as there is still some time, like still a lot of trees to be buffered, and I just felt this is much more personal to go there and work with the land and planted them myself, and together with the help of my friends and families. The first batch of tree planting happened in June this year in 2023, when my good friend Adam, who actually started as an intern in Anzaro Quantum Healing, and we became really good friends. And even after he finished, we developed a really nice friendship, and he came to visit me in Turkey, and he's really skilled with a camera, and also the one helping me to put this video together, because he has really magical skills when it comes to putting and editing videos together. And he came to Turkey in June, and of course we had to plant some trees. So I went to a local plant dealer, we bought 10 trees, and we went to the village, and it was a really interesting experience for him, because the village is such a different world from what we can experience in the Western world or in Europe, because it's super different. It's very small, it's very primitive, and you just see animals, sheep, cows, chickens all around everywhere, and yeah, it's an interesting vibe there. And of course he got to see our reforestation project. And we got him there. We like cleaned a little bit about the space, pulled out some weeds, put some of these mulch or hay as a top layer of the existing reforestation part, just to create a nice top layer of the soil to stay moist. And we dig some holes and planted the trees. Some trees had kind of died. I don't know what happened, but they didn't survive, so we pulled them out and put them in. There was already irrigation system installed at these holes, so we didn't have to install new holes or new hoses to make these drip irrigation systems, so this was pretty convenient. It was a really nice day at the village. It was a nice experience for me. I'm also really sure it was a nice experience for Adam to experience that. And this is something that I'm building it up to. I really want to invite my friends and the community, the users in the future, to come and help to plant these trees together. This is what it's really all about. And the second batch of trees was planted in July, just 1 month after the first batch with Adam, where we planted 90 trees, which brings the total amount of trees planted this year to 100. And these trees, most, I would say around 80 or maybe 77, I think to be precise, was planted in this empty area on the other side of the road. If you look from above, it's left, but when you come from the road, it's on the right side. And this was a big area, super empty. I think it looked a little bit dull because we had a lot of trees and vegetation on the left side we have been working on for the past 2 years. So I wanted to do something to fill out that landscape on that side. So I decided to make a nice fruit plantation there. So these trees were not planted using the Miyawaki method as mentioned in the previous tree update, where they're really tight, but they had more space in between. They were lined up super nice. I went into the tree planter, plant them, and then I called my plant dealer and I say I need this amount of trees, and we also ordered some other trees to replace some other trees that were dead, and also some along the road that didn't survive. So we got like 90 trees in total. And they came and we told him if you could bring some people to help plant the trees with. And he brought 2 people, and the guy, the owner of the nursery, came as well. And my job was to kind of define where the holes should be. They bought this drilling machine, which was really convenient and easy to make the holes, because the soil is very hard. And this was just made it super convenient. So I was just defining where these trees should be. I used a line to make it straight so it would look nice, but it was also still a little bit asymmetric, so it's still like it's straight, but it's also asymmetric because nothing in nature is straight, you know. It's a little bit distorted or spiraled, and I try to give it that shape. And it just going so fast. I didn't have too much time to record. My little brother, who was usually helping me just get some footage, was not there with me this day. And we were just so busy, but I tried to get some footage, which you can see, and the process was super smooth. Like within a day, we had all these trees planted, not just on this whole fruit plantation part, but also like some trees along the road that we planted 2 years ago that kind of didn't survive, and also some of the pine trees that we used for fencing around the whole field. Like I think there was 3 of them that didn't survive, so we also changed them. And it was just so amazing. It looked really, really nice. Covered a lot of space with 77 trees. It's quite a lot if you think that only in some of the smaller compartments in the Miyawaki forest area we have 60 or 100 trees, but it's just because they are so tight, you don't feel it as much as when they are spread around, but it's different purpose. So it was super nice. And then I went on to install a drip irrigation system, which we purchased last year. It was just to add another line. I programmed it, and then it is watering all these trees for 1 hour every 2 days, and it is just works so smooth. And then it just switches between all these different lines. There is now close to 830 trees, I believe, in this whole field. I mean, it's hard to keep track on because there's a lot of stuff to go on, but we just like to plant trees. And keep in mind that these trees planted in Turkey cost way more than the trees that we donate to our partner organization Eden Projects in Africa. Because, first of all, labor is very cheap in Africa and they have a whole nursery set up. And just to kind of give you the details, a tree planted through these organizations costs around $0.2. And the trees that they plant are usually like very sapling, seedling level, very small. Whereas the trees that we purchase in Turkey, they are much more expensive because they are at least a meter tall. Some we received that at 2.5 meters. So it's like above the height of a basketball player, like kind of that height. Some are very tall, and they vary between $6, $7, $10 to $50, $60, $80 depending on the size. So it's a huge difference. And on top of that comes the cost of labor, all the materials that we have to use. Like my dad, he actually just sponsored a mini tractor that he bought after this whole tree planting day. I wasn't there, so I didn't record it, but it will definitely be in the next tree update. And just that costed around $15,000. And he also sponsored the whole drip irrigation system that we bought last year, which cost around $1,500 in total with all the different parts and components. So I really just want to say big thanks and shout out to my dad, my big man. You know, all this wouldn't have been possible without his help, and of course his business, which I also helped him create. For those that don't know, 6-7 years ago I started a fast food restaurant chain together with my dad. Was super successful, but shortly after starting it I got burned out, I got depressed, and that kind of led me to my spiritual journey, because I kind of walked a path I shouldn't go, and it was just the universe slapping me and telling me to stop. Hey, you're walking a different path. But the shop is very successful. My dad is still running it today. It's called Ibolicious Kebab. And yeah, it's through that seed that I planted many years ago that all this is actually possible. Because just something I really want to be very transparent with all of you. At Anzaro Quantum Healing is still on a startup level. It's just barely making through all the costs. It's not even paying my own salary. I am doing something on the side to earn for my own living, to live this lifestyle. And you might be wondering, how the fuck am I possible to do all this stuff? Like, if you just think in this 6-7 months, I have released 2 apps, I created 2 courses, I hosted a dozen of events, and I also working on the side to create some apps and so on. And I also have time to hold vacation and take the time off. I mean, you might be wondering, how is this all possible? Well, this is because I have really learned to become a master alchemist, to learn how to transmute my sexual energy and use it into my creations. Just enter a state of flow, a being where I'm converting this powerful energy of creation that created all, you know, it created you, it created me, it created everything that we see, and I'm transmuting it, utilizing it, alchemizing it into all these creations. It's fueling me with so much energy to create the life that I want, that I desire to use. And this is what I want to say, that this is also why I created a course, so people can learn to harness this very powerful power that we have, this energy, because this can really transform your life. And for all my brothers, you know, if you still want to practice sexual energy transmutation, you can skyrocket your sexual energy levels to insane amounts by becoming multi-orgasmic, by learning to cultivate your sexual energy, by increasing it even during sexual intercourse, so you're not losing your sexual energy. And what you decide to do with that power is totally up to you. But just be aware, this is not an easy energy to learn how to harness, how to hold. You really need to develop a strong body and strong mind. but this is something that I explain a lot about in the course, and I just want to mention these courses as I believe they will help transform a lot of people's life as well as contribute to the planting of trees. So yeah, that was this tree update, very different from the previous where I enter a lot of the details in the whole tree planting process. If you want to go deeper in that, if you haven't watched that, I'm talking so much about it, maybe a little bit too much into the details. I wanted to just keep it a little bit more concise this year, make the update more about the foundations for all these things that is going to plant so many trees together, like with Anzaro Quantum Healing. This is how we are planning it together. We are transforming the planet together. By healing ourselves, we are healing the planet because we are an extension of the planet. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. Remember to click on that subscribe button and plant another tree with me. And I'm just so excited to bring more content on YouTube, as this is something that I will be focused more on in the upcoming times. So thank you once again from my heart. I love you so much. I just want to know that you are not alone in this journey. There are so many incredible, beautiful souls around you. And just find them and create beautiful things together. Thank you and see you soon.